Takumi heads to the library in search of information on alchemy, but is surprised to find only 4 books on the subject. He wonders why alchemy isn't more widely practiced, given how simple it appears. Later that day, Takumi, Maria, and Sophia complete a large batch of toilets, making significant progress. Since he won't be working on more for a while, Maria asks about his next plans. Takumi reveals he intends to embark on a journey to search for alchemy ingredients, explore the world, and possibly visit ruins. He has already decided that Sophia will accompany him as his bodyguard, so Maria must stay behind to look after the house. Maria, however, dislikes the idea of being left alone. She asks if she can join him, but Takumi hesitates, arguing that the journey could be dangerous. Maria feels lonely at the thought of being left behind and pleads with Takumi to reconsider. Feeling guilty, Takumi examines Maria's abilities using his appraisal skill. To his surprise, she is quite skilled. He agrees to let her come along as long as she believes she can handle the trip. Sophia suggests training Maria in magic and combat, and Takumi agrees. He also requests Sophia to train him. With Maria now part of the expedition, Takumi begins crafting equipment for everyone. He asks Sophia about her weapon preference, and she requests a longsword, a 2.5-meter spear, a bow, and 2 knives. Maria, less experienced with weapons, suggests battle knives, but Sophia advises adding a spear for better reach. Since Maria lacks spear training, Sophia offers to teach her the basics. Takumi starts crafting the weapons, quickly finishing the blades but exhausting his mana in the process. He drinks a mana potion to recover. Afterward, he enchants the weapons with attack and auto-repair spells to minimize maintenance. For Maria's battle knives, she needs a sheath. Next, he focuses on making armor for the girls. Instead of asking for their measurements, he retrieves life-size dolls of Maria and Sophia from his item box, something he had previously created using his appraisal EX skill. He doesn't explain why he made them in the first place. Using Maple's silk and materials from an armored boar, Takumi designs the armor, experimenting with multiple redesigns over several days. When he finally presents the armor, Maria and Sophia are impressed by the perfect fit. They wonder how he managed this without taking measurements. Maple almost exposes Takumi's secret about the dolls, but he silences her before she can say anything. To distract them, Takumi asks for their opinion on the weapons. Sophia is pleased with her sword, while Maria appreciates her battle knives. Additionally, Takumi gifts them magical rings to enhance their spellcasting. Though they worry about the mana cost, he assures them it was worth it as it helped him level up his magic. With their equipment ready, the 3 visit the guild to register Maria and Sophia as adventurers. Since they are new, they start at H rank. The receptionist reminds Takumi that he must complete at least 1 quest to maintain his adventurer status. While browsing the mission board for a low-rank quest, Sophia suggests tackling a higher-ranked one to advance quickly. Their conversation attracts the attention of some arrogant D-rank adventurers who try to intimidate Takumi and harass Maria and Sophia. When Takumi refuses to back down, one of them punches him with full force. However, Takumi remains unscathed while the attacker breaks his own hand. The guildmaster, Barak, arrives and, after learning the truth, has the troublemakers removed. He then questions Takumi about his abilities. Takumi explains that he used a quick synthesis spell to reinforce his body with diamond, preventing damage. Impressed, Barak offers to promote Takumi to D rank immediately, but Takumi insists on earning his promotion through quests. Han suggests a mission involving goblin and kobold extermination, along with Maril herb collection. The team accepts and heads into the forest. With Maple scouting ahead, as they progress, they eliminate nearly 100 monsters, leading Sophia to suspect a nearby goblin encampment, possibly with a goblin general. A goblin general is a C-rank monster that typically requires multiple D-rank parties to defeat. However, with their combined magic and combat skills, Sophia believes they can handle it. Before they engage, Maple announces her impending evolution and enters Takumi's pocket dimension. Maria and Sophia are surprised that he possesses such an ability, but he brushes off their questions. The group soon locates the goblin camp, which houses around 400 goblins. Sophia suggests using large-scale magic attacks since no humans are in the area. The 3 unleash their strongest spells, devastating most of the goblins. The remaining enemies include a goblin general and several goblin knights. Sophia handles the knights, while Takumi sets the goblin general on fire, swiftly defeating it. After collecting magic stones, they return to the guild, completely exhausted. Hans is astounded that they completed the quest and defeated a goblin general in just half a day. The guild master calls them in for a discussion, but ultimately overlooks their reckless tactics due to their extraordinary results. Back home, Maria asks for spare cloth to make underwear for herself and Sophia, but Takumi insists on crafting a better design. Before he can start, Maple informs him that Popek has arrived with a message. Marcus Godwin, the Lord of Bolton, has requested an audience with Takumi. Though reluctant, Takumi meets with Godwin, who turns out to be reasonable. He thanks Takumi for improving sanitation with his toilets and for eliminating the goblin threat. Godwin acknowledges Takumi's value to the nation and warns him that Sidonia will soon take an interest in him. A few days later, Takumi finishes crafting underwear for Maria and Sophia, but the process leaves him exhausted. When he absent-mindedly suggests they try it on in front of him, he realizes his mistake and flees the room in embarrassment. Maria and Sophia, however, are disappointed, as they were willing to do it if he had stayed. Episode 5 starts off with Takumi presenting the girls with the new refrigerators he just built yesterday by fusing metal alloys with cooling magic. Maria is overjoyed, since now she'll be able to keep her ingredients fresher for longer periods of time. Sophia picks the blue fridge, so Takumi tells them that he'll be taking the rest to Papek's office so he can start working on his next project. Their fight with the Goblin General got Takumi thinking that they needed to upgrade their equipment, and so he was going to focus on that for now by creating a new set using mithril and adamantite. Takumi learns from Hans that mithril and adamantite were rare ores, and it was even rarer to find a blacksmith who could handle them. Although since he was an alchemist, he could synthesize some himself, but it would take a lot of mana. Alternately, he could also mine them from a mine in the city of Horus, which would be the better option. The only problem was that he wouldn't be allowed to mine there unless he was a part of the Blacksmith's Guild. But by accepting a quest to defeat monsters that appear there occasionally, Takumi would be able to mine simultaneously as well. Takumi likes this idea when suddenly the guild master drops a visit. He asks Takumi to fetch some trait wood from the trait monsters on his way as well, as the Forest of Death, their habitat, was along the way to Horus. On top of that, he requests Takumi to also escort a blacksmith to Horus as well, promising to upgrade his rank to D and the girls to E upon completion. Takumi asks his exploitive guild management how long the trip would be. Hazen tells him that by a normal horse-pulled cart, it would take a week, while a monster cart would take 4 since they were twice as fast. Takumi decides to go with the monster cart, but gets the disappointing news that there were none available at the moment. That's when Riel shows up, returning back to drop off a black buffalo they had caught on their way. Takumi invites Riel to stay the night with them, and Riel takes him up on that happily. Takumi strikes a deal with Papek to sell him some of the ore at wholesale rates in exchange for a monster cart from him. On their way back, Riel senses extreme hostility all of a sudden from someone close by. Unprepared to fight them without his equipment, he takes Takumi and makes a run for it when the mystery threat attacks him. It was Sophia. Unaware of who Riel was, she gets ready to finish him off, thinking he was a threat to Takumi. Takumi intervenes at the last second and clears the whole misunderstanding, apologizing to Riel for the trouble. At their place, Riel is shocked to see that 3 beautiful girls were serving Takumi. He asks Maria and Sophia out, but gets rejected and drowns his sorrows in a warm bath. Riel then takes off, and Takumi gets busy trying to downsize the tungsten carbide sword, which drained enemies' mana after every strike, since it was too big to be used as is. After a lot of effort and draining plenty of mana, Takumi finally manages to make 2 smaller swords out of it. 3 days pass, and the time for the journey was finally at hand. Takumi meets Dagambo, the blacksmith he was escorting, and their journey begins. After the set out, the guild master receives information that the monsters in the Forest of Death had gotten active, and hopes Takumi doesn't run into any advanced species. Meanwhile, Yamato, one of the 3 high school students who were summoned to the kingdom of Sidonia, practices sword fighting, showing promise thanks to his judo background, while Akane stares at Elizabeth with untrusting eyes. Takumi sets up a protective barrier around their cart, and Dagambo and he head out to fight Trents in the Forest of Death. Elizabeth spots one, and the whole group attacks it, taking it down in no time. They then get surrounded by them and resort to magic for fighting, as it was faster. An elder Trent appears and starts proving to be difficult to deal with because of its rapid regeneration. Takumi infuses magic with his sword and delivers a decisive blow, procuring rare miracle apples as a result. After successfully defeating the Trents, the group arrives at the mining city of Horus. There, they take up the quest of defeating iron moles that fed on ores and head over to the mine. In the mine, they find mithril and adamantite from the get-go, when all at once the mine starts trembling. Dagambo points out it was the iron moles as one pops up. Takumi uses light magic to blind the iron mole and asks Sophia to finish it off. Takumi's ingenious strategy of using light against the nocturnal mole amazes everyone, while Maria laments her uselessness. After consoling Maria and taking the ore to Bolton, Takumi went over to Dagambo's workshop the next day to learn the basics regarding these new ores. Working countless hours, he finally managed to create new weapons and armor using these rare ores. After an embarrassing demonstration of his upgraded ability, Takumi asks the girls to try out their updated powers as well. Sophia requests a shield from Takumi so she could protect his life better, while Takumi tells her to cherish her own life more as well. Lady Nolan, giving us a peek of the future a year from now, shows Yamato and Akira donning knight armor and malicious expressions as they are about to set off for the invasion of the kingdom of Samandor. Meanwhile, in present time, while Sophia thinks about hiring an assistant who could help lighten the load of the workshop on Takumi, the king of the kingdom of Barkula receives a passive threat from the kingdom of Sidonia for their use of purification magic. Stay connected, like and subscribe for more fun recaps on One and Only Endless Recaps.